Welcome, everybody. This is the Go Time Podcast. I am Matt Stewart. If you don't know who I am the student pastor at LCStudent Church. I am joined with my good friends.
Oh, yeah. This is Christian.
I can't. My name is Jordan.
Let's go.
This is the first, and we can't forget our wonderful producer.
He's not in the shop, but he's here.
You can't see him, but you can definitely hear him. Daniel, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
And if you listen closely and look closely, you can feel his presence.
You may even hear him breathing into the microphone.
Definitely. Yeah.
Definitely. I hope you can.
We love Daniel. We love you, Daniel.
Well, this is officially the launch, the kickoff, episode 1 of the Go Time Podcast.
It's been a long time coming.
It's been a long time coming.
If they know what we went through today, can we just talk about it real fast, please? Can we please talk about
forgetting camera chargers, the SD cards,
the batteries,
bad batteries.
Oh,
we had to speak some prayer over this.
We had to because emotions were through the roof, to say the least.
But here's the thing: I know I can speak for all of us in this room about how bad we've been wanting to do this.
100%.
Yeah.
This has been something that we've been talking about for months, actually. A specific reason why we want to do this podcast. I know there's a lot of things that are on social media. There's a lot of video podcasts out there, but we specifically wanted to create something for you, for whoever is watching this. Yeah. Maybe it's one person, maybe it's 10, maybe it's 20. We wanted to do this for those who are watching this, a specific outlet for us to learn as believers what it looks like to walk out our faith right where God has us.
100%.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but like, what are y'all most excited about this podcast?
Man, I'll go first. You good with that?
Yeah, go first.
I think the biggest thing that I'm most excited about is the unintentional audience that we can reach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We have a unique opportunity with social media to reach people that we don't even know. Right. I think my biggest prayer for this podcast is for someone to stumble across a reel that we throw up there. You know, just a small clip of one of us talking about something that we're super passionate about, right? Or just talking, just testimonies that are going to be shared here, mine, your guys's, people that are going to be joining us. You know, I think the biggest thing that I'm so excited for is for someone to come across this podcast and go, whoa. That there's something happening. Yeah. Not because of us. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Not because of us, but because of Jesus that is involved in this. You know, that is my prayer. That is what I'm excited about. That's just one of the things. You know.
Yeah, one of many.
One of many, yeah. Go ahead, Jay.
What about you, Jay?
Go, Jay.
I would say I'm most excited about just really being real and getting an opportunity just to share real stuff and us to talk about real things that people are going through, and challenge each and every one of us to be honest, and to really say, this is where we're at, this is what we're struggling with, but also talking about some just hot topics in the world and on social media that many don't talk about, especially I think we can reach a lot of students and be real on social media.
Absolutely. I think that's one thing that we have to do.
Yeah.
If our students, if our teenagers are walking through things, we got to talk about it.
Yeah,
I
We got
agree.
to talk about society. We got to talk about culture, what they are experiencing each and every single day. Because it's hard for them to carry. Like I said, there's a lot of things that are going on out in culture side, but we're going to talk about identity. We're going to talk about purpose, accountability. We're going to talk about culture and sports and music, the whole 9 yards.
Heck yeah.
But you know what? We're going to have fun doing it.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's go. I think I said this earlier, and I'll say it again. Like, you messed up by putting these guys in this room. Like we have fun, but you know what? I think we all share the same passion. To enhance the kingdom, right?
Yeah.
Like
Come on.
we all share the same passion. To see people. You know, yes, we are in the business of ministering to young people, but people it should be our target, and so that's dope. I'm like, that's why that gets me going every morning.
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah.
So we talked about having fun in this thing, right?
Yep.
Yes.
So in order for us to start this thing off with a bang,
Here we go.
I think we got to start this thing off hot. I think we got to start this thing off right. Like they know the why, but they hear our hearts, right? Like why we want to start this podcast. Like
Show the funny side.
but the funny side of this, outside of our crazy personalities, we're going to start this thing off the first segment that I like to call You Laugh, You Lose.
Oh, Daniel, do you have your jokes?
I have my.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I forgot, but I got some jokes.
You got some
I got
jokes?
some in the bag.
You got some
I
jokes?
got some
I
in the
hope
bag.
so.
Yes, I got some.
I sure hope so because I'm tough to break, bro.
Let's go.
I'm very
Let's go.
tough to break.
Right.
Y'all check with us. You laugh,
You lose. All right, let's do it. You ready? Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, this is You Laugh, You Lose. Go ahead, gentlemen. Let's get ready. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. First joke. Remember, y'all, this is dad joke edition. Okay? Y'all, here's the first one. What do you call a poor Santa Claus? Saint Nicholas. I asked my dog, what's 2 minus 2? He said nothing. Gosh, this is not going my... What do you call someone with no body and no nose? Nobody knows. Come on. Y'all suck. All right, ready? Dad, can you put my shoes on? No, I don't think they'll fit me. A guy walks into a bar and he was disqualified from the limbo contest. Boom, we got one.
All right, I only got 3, and in 3, I'm gonna get you guys. Are you ready? I only got 3. You ready? I told my wife to embrace her mistakes, so she hugged me. That's one. That's one. I only got 3, so there's 2 more. All right, here we go. Here's joke number 2. Joke number 2. Ready? My wife asked me if I've ever seen a dog bowl. I said I never knew she can do that. He's just holding it in. Did I ever tell you guys that one time when I thought my wife was cheating on me? She said she would be home in 10 to 15 minutes max. My name's Daniel. Two to one.
We are back, boys.
Yo, y'all are crazy, man.
I can't with y'all.
Yo.
You go clean yourself off after that?
I had to.
Bro, we better throw a mop down on all this too, because this is crazy.
All right, y'all. Look, again, like we said, we're gonna have a lot of fun doing this podcast. There's gonna be a whole lot more things. We may even throw a tortilla slap in there somewhere these next few weeks.
We have to.
Daniel, you gonna hop in on that?
Yeah. Dang.
Daniel's very distant from the microphone, going, "No, I'm not."
no,
in that.
Matt,
No.
I'm putting you in a headlock.
Oh, there we go.
Put
The
you in a
infamous,
headlock.
Come on, bro. You ain't never done
the
it.
infamous threat that we have never seen.
It happens,
But
y'all.
man, let's
It
get down
happens.
to the meat and potatoes.
Let's go.
Of why we want to do this podcast. This first one I think is so fitting, especially where we are as a student ministry. For LC students, kind of like where we're headed.
Yeah.
I definitely do need to talk through. I think this is something that we all need to talk through about what it looks like to be real.
Right.
Yeah.
But the bigger scheme of things, that what it truly means to be real. But more so as Christ followers, like we live in a culture and society that is be who you feel you want to be, or it's all about how it makes you feel. But what it really truly gets down to is authenticity.
Yeah.
Like, so asking the question is like, what does it truly mean to be real.
Right.
Yeah. I think what it means to be real is first accepting that you are weak and accepting that it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
And just trusting the process to get to being better and to getting where God wants us to be. But I think that's the biggest thing. I think for me, like, I just didn't accept the fact that I'm weak. And I think that I hid it and, put on a mask. But I think that's it. It's being real. Just accepting
100%.
it,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Man, I think, and you could chime in on this too, because we kind of going back and forth. But like, I think the biggest thing too on top of that is really one, we gotta know exactly who God has created us to be.
Come on. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like and that's hard. Think about the times that we're sports, family, church, school.
Yeah.
It's easy to get wrapped up in a persona or a facade. I know for me, that was my biggest thing, right? Like, easy to say you're somebody who you're really not, you know? So I think once once I understood who God has created me to be, I'd say I'm understanding still, right? I don't know exactly who God has created me to be, but every day I strive to figure that out, right? And I think really understanding that, so that's, excuse me, that's like the biggest thing for me. It's like, man, really finding and discovering, hey, God, who did you say Christian is, right? Who did you create Christian to be, and discovering that for myself. I think
that's a big point, though, that truly finding out who you are is a journey.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like, we understand that there is a natural pull to different things that we're passionate about, things that we like, that God has gifted us different passions. But in order to truly find out who we are, who God has created us to be, like, it takes us seeking for that.
Going on that journey.
It takes going through life and experiences, through people, through different things, to truly figure out who God's created us to be. Like, when I think about being real, it first starts with understanding who God is.
Definitely.
I think it first starts in the understanding of who Jesus is, because we want a true picture of who true authenticity was, of being real, and what that looked like. I think it starts with Jesus. And what that looks like, but an understanding of who he is, so we can find out who we are. And that may sound like a churchy answer, but it's real. Like, can we be real? Like, truly be real without understanding who Jesus is?
Right.
Like, I think there's two levels of that.
Definitely. Oh, shoot.
Right? Like, there's their picture or their persona of what society and culture says is real.
100%.
But then there's like another picture of what real truly is, and who Jesus was. Like, it was a perfect picture. And there's like deeper level to it. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like there are deeper levels to authenticity that you can reach.
I agree.
The understanding of who Jesus is and who he means to us.
Right.
So, which brings up the question: is there such a thing as being too real?
Yes and no.
See, I said the same
thing.
And
same thing.
And I would say,
explain it.
Go ahead.
I would say yes to the fact of you don't need to just be real with everybody. There are certain things, being on stage or with the audience that I wouldn't just share. Even with certain people. I have a certain group of people in my life that I share real stuff with and things that I'm going through, so that they know my heart and they know my character, and they walk through it with me. But other people don't know that. And there's more likely than to gossip or to hurt my heart. And so I think it's important to guard your heart, but you still have to be open, but with a select few. And I think Jesus did that too. So.
I think the point I put down when we were discussing this, and when we were talking about what it means to be real, the point I put in it was know your audience.
100%.
Like, what drew me back to that picture was Jesus didn't reveal his true self to everyone. Now he prophesied and said, "No, I am the one. I am the way, the truth, and the life. Only you can only reach the Father through me." But he only did true life, and was vulnerable and revealed himself to 12. And I
that's
think
good.
that
that's
comes
really good.
from being real and being open, but also being guarded.
Yeah.
Because like you said, people are flawed.
Yeah.
And we're going to encounter relationships with agendas.
100%.
We're going to encounter relationships that harm us.
Yeah.
And there's a time and place to know who you're talking to and how much you reveal. You know, Chris, you talked about that just the other day about what that kind of an incident like
Dude, definitely. I think definitely know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Man,
that's good.
it's and we, but like, even for me, like I fell into that, you know, and there's no hate, there's no ill feelings towards anyone that's done it to me. But even just in this one instance, I literally was just getting to know this person, and in a moment where I was vulnerable. I was in a season of just vulnerable, seeking friendships, seeking people that I can trust, and I let my guard down because I thought, okay, like this person, he's older than me.
Yeah.
He's been through a lot, so and he's an amazing man of God, and I don't think he meant anything towards me about it, but yeah, like it got to this point where he was like, hey man, like I'm here for you, I want to be that person that you can trust, and I did. I opened up this part of my life that I've never opened up to anybody, not even my parents, not a pastor. And a few months down the line, the very thing that I had opened myself up to, he used it against me. You know, and for me, like, you know, a young 22-year-old kid trying to, find that 12, you know, find those people that I can say, man, you know, I want to be in ministry so bad, but I don't want my integrity to ever be questioned. I want you to know this, you know? Yeah. And so in that instance, man, it hurt. It sucked. I think I closed in for so long after that. Yeah. Right. You know, because it's like, oh man, like I don't ever want to let that piece out of me again. Yeah. But yeah, man, but know your audience, but also share with a guarded heart. Is something that I've learned through being real. you know.
So what's ask an even deeper question: how do you know who to share that much with, and how do you know where to stop?
Yeah. I would say what I've learned just through a mentor poured in my life is share pieces and entrust them with, you know, different pieces. And sometimes you have to go a little deep but still guard, but give them pieces and not just giving them your whole life. Because some people just can't handle that maturity. Like, you know, you share everything and they're like, whoa. But I think just give pieces. And start with, you know, one step at a time and growing relationship. And I really believe time reveals truth. And so if they're a truthful person, they're going to stay there for time length.
Definitely.
And I think that's a big thing.
I think for me, the truly understanding of who can I be authentic with, whether I'm having somebody pour into me or I'm pouring out into somebody, I think it first begins with the relationship. I think in order for me to figure out, like, okay, how much can I share with this person, is also how much are they willing to share with me? Because if it's a one-way street where I am revealing so much and they're just receiving, I think it's like, whoa. It causes me to pause and go, okay, like, to be authentic with each other in relationships, like, and true authenticity of being real with each other, like sharing our ups and downs, our wins, our losses, our sin, you know, and having accountability and having those type of people in our life, it began with a relationship.
100%.
And when we lose sight of that, when we go like, oh, I want to be vulnerable so I can pour into this person, so, you know, so maybe it's a selfish ambition, or maybe it was innocent at first, but it's understanding it starts with a relationship.
100%.
And being able to understand and feel, okay, can this person also be willing to be vulnerable too? Because that's a guarded heart.
Definitely.
Like, I'm only going to share as much as being shared with me. Because if they're willing to put it out there, that means they're willing to listen to me put it out there. They're going, okay, I trust this person enough to listen. Okay, I can trust them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and time will only tell too. You know, time. I think there's friends that I have. And they're probably sitting at this table, right? But like that have been in my life for a very short time. But the vulnerability across the board,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
is what really made me go, yo, these guys are genuine friends, like straight up. You know, not only are they genuine, but they love the Lord.
Yeah.
They seek the Lord.
Amen.
And I think those are hallelujah, hallelujah. But those three qualities, for me, like, are important, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Come
when
on.
we talk about kingdom-minded people,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what we want to surround ourselves. But we got to ask, are you a kingdom-minded person?
Yeah.
You know, and so I think that's the thing. But it took time. It didn't take a lot of time. But sometimes with friendship, it takes a cool minute.
Well, even in relationships with those that aren't like-minded,
Right.
like understanding, okay, if I'm gonna be willing to be vulnerable and level the playing field,
Right.
so to speak, of going, okay, I'm not all high and mighty, like I am just like you. I'm gonna reveal this.
Yeah.
It still begins with a relationship.
100%.
Yeah, I agree.
It absolutely
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Because that's what
Yeah.
I'm understanding. Like I'm in a
really good.
relationship. Like I'm not just gonna go to someone
Yeah.
walking on the street and tell them every bit of my story, and they're gonna go to their friend and go, hey, I just talked to this dude. Like this is what he said. To
You
me.
know this Matt
Yeah.
Stewart
Yeah,
guy? Like,
absolutely. Like,
Yeah,
it
that's
doesn't work
good.
that
You
way.
can't say
Yeah.
that here either, bro.
I mean, I even think of just Paul, and Paul and the thorn in his flesh. He didn't exactly say what it was, and I think that's a big thing, that he was still guarding his heart. But Paul shared his testimony over and over again,
Yeah.
and shared so many things the Lord did in his life and so many things
Yeah.
he did wrong, but he still guarded his heart from sharing,
Absolutely.
you know, what that was
Yeah.
and whatever was tormenting him.
So let me ask you this question. This is gonna get real deep.
No more questions.
Yeah, I'm done.
How do we guard our heart?
Yeah, that's great. You just don't talk. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
Hey,
kidding.
if we're talking about being real,
I'm kidding.
Just
I'm
don't
kidding.
say
talk.
nothing, bro.
Seriously,
kidding.
how
Yeah.
do we guard our hearts?
Yeah, that's a great question. Christian, how would you guard your heart?
And I think for me, and it's gonna be super Christianese answer, but this is the only way that I know. One, it starts with prayer. It starts with a prayer.
Come on.
It starts with prayer.
Yeah.
You know, it starts with, hey God, you know me. You know I'm an open book.
Yeah.
You know I'll talk to the next person, you know, to the left of me.
Yeah.
But it's really hearing from that conviction of, hey, no.
Yeah.
You know what
This
I'm saying?
isn't the person.
This
Yeah.
isn't,
Yeah.
you
This
know,
isn't
the
but that's not gonna happen overnight.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
Yeah.
why I think like prayer and constant communication with Jesus,
Come on.
man, is really important. Because you won't have that conviction, you know, and
Yeah.
it's happened to me. It's happened to us, you know. It's happened to me multiple times where I'm like, man, this person's cool in this moment. You know, I've only known them 6 hours, but you know, like I'm gonna throw my entire life.
The reason why I asked that question, because there can be a common misconception of between being guarded and putting walls up.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah.
Yes, there
Yeah.
could be a major
Yeah.
difference between I'm going to guard
Yeah.
my heart and guard myself while being vulnerable
Yeah.
than putting up a wall.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because putting up a wall means there's a fence.
Yeah.
There's hurt. There's pain that has put that wall up that can keep you from being real and authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas being guarded allows me to do that, but yet protect myself.
Yeah.
I think that's we have to really talk about that, because people go, no, I'm guarded. Like I
Right.
guard myself. Like,
Right.
no, man,
Nah, you hurt.
you've got pain and hurt.
You hurt,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah. That's
You know what I'm saying?
good.
But
Yeah.
I've lived that,
Absolutely.
bro.
Yeah.
I've lived that, bro. I'm like, man,
Me
I'm good.
too.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Me
saying? Like,
too.
I am guarded. No, I'm just hurting. I don't want to let nobody in.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on.
Wait, one last thing.
Hey, go ahead.
I think for me, is I really, really value people who are long suffering.
Yeah.
And I watch people,
Yeah.
and I see, okay, are they doing that for other people? And if I see they're doing that for other people around me, and they're consistent, meeting with people, they're relational, then I want to get to know them and slowly understand, okay, are they going to be long-suffering with me?
Yeah.
Because if I mess up, I want somebody to walk with me.
Come on.
And I want to be able to do that for them, you know? And so that's just something I value, and that's a way that I guard my heart,
Yeah.
but also try to let people in.
Let's go.
I like that. Amen.
So moving on. So how would you actually define being real? Even when you break down the word love, within being real, being authentic, of loving people, I think there are two different versions of love.
Yeah.
And I know that's weird to think about, and we were just talking about this earlier today.
Good, dude.
there's the worldview of love. Even if you look at the actual definition of love, it talks about a feeling that is expressed towards something or another person, something that we like or enjoy.
Yeah.
And I think when we look at Christ's love for us, that's a completely different definition.
Yeah.
Because it was regardless of feeling.
Yeah.
Regardless of how we made him feel.
Boy, you better preach.
Yo, he still loved us.
Yeah. For real.
Regardless of our sin, regardless of anything that's going on in our life, he still chose to die on a cross for us.
Yeah.
And to bridge that gap from death to life.
Yeah.
You know, so when we talk about being real, we talk about being authentic.
Right.
I think it's an understanding of a true love. What that looks like.
Yeah.
You know, and you can ask anybody in today's world and culture, like, you know, do you know what love is? And they go, yeah. You know, someone that may not believe in who God is and who Jesus is may go, yeah, I love my girlfriend, I love my boyfriend, or I love my wife, or I love football.
Yeah.
But all those are based off feeling.
Yeah.
And I think, there's a piece where our authenticity does flow from our emotions. There's a piece of it. It's not the only piece.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if it was based off feeling, when Jesus was in the garden saying, Lord, this is too much, take this cup from me, but I want your will to be done, he'd say, no, I'm done.
Got you.
Yeah.
For real.
But it's deeper than that.
Right. It is.
Yeah.
It's a matter of surface level.
Yes, come on.
Right. Like we can even take it back into the Bible, and you know, like we said, we've been talking about this.
Yes.
And I already have the scripture up because for me, man, it's like
you got on your phone. I got Bible.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry.
a paperback.
Listen,
hardback copy, man.
I'm a technology one. I'm buying my next purchase is an iPad.
It's all highlighted. It's written all over. Come on, man.
They told me I couldn't put mine on the table.
Yeah, we did one Bible only. Sorry, y'all.
Jordan's Bible probably break this table. Who gets the family Bible? Sorry.
Back to it. Man, that when I love that you brought that up too, bro, because it's like, people can love their wife or their girlfriend. They can love food, right?
I do.
Right, come on. Like, let's be real. Like, anything else, let's talk about people that don't really know Jesus, right?
Yeah.
Like, when they say, I love this and that, that's a surface level love, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we were talking about this earlier.
Based off circumstance.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And so, like, for me, that all that is surface level, which is cool. I'm all about like, I'm not all about surface level, but I'm all about loving those things. I love my mom. I love my dogs. I don't even have any dogs, but if I did, I'd love them.
I love my dogs.
But I love my dogs right here. But I think, man, even in Luke chapter 5, right? And I'm going to start at verse 4. Jesus found 2 boats, right? And he wanted to preach to these people. So he got these guys to bring out the boats. In verse 4, he said, when he had finished speaking, he said to Simon, now go out where it is deeper and let down your nets to catch some fish. You know, there's a surface level love.
Yeah, come on.
Right, and I'm gonna get to the other word, but I low-key love Simon Peter's reaction because it's our reaction. Right.
Remember, this man's a fisherman.
Yeah, he's a professional fisher. In that time, that's how he made his bread. That's how he provided for his people. Right, and so I love his reaction because he says, "Master," Simon replied, "we worked hard all last night and didn't catch a thing. But if you say so, I'll let the nets down again." When I read that, I picture Simon just like, bro, we did this. Like, but all right, bro, if you say so, I'm gonna do it. Right. And he did it. And what happened? You know,
almost broke the net.
It was so they had to call people in, bro. Right. But I want to go back to that word. Now go out where it is deeper.
Come on, bro.
There's surface level love. I love my mom. I love my dad. I love my girl. I love my wife. I love my friends. Right? Excuse me. But there's a deeper love. And the only way that we can actually experience that deeper love is how?
By experiencing that love of Christ.
Come on.
Come on. That's so good.
Right? Let's talk about being real. Let's talk about being authentic. The only way that we can really experience that deeper love, that, like, he wasn't saying, hey, go back to where you were and trying to catch some fish. No, he said, hey, let them go deeper. Right?
That's good.
And that for me, that's like, okay, Lord, hold on. I've given you almost everything. But this right here, I'm gonna hold on to. And that's what he was saying that day. He was saying that. He was saying
That's
that day. He
good.
was saying,
Come on.
hey,
Yeah.
go deeper.
That's really good.
Really, what is
Yeah.
the root of what you're holding on to?
Yeah.
Right? What do you not? Because for me, it's like, hey, God, you can have this, this, and this right here. But
Yeah.
this right here, I'm gonna hold on to.
Well, what's even crazier is you look through Peter's story.
Yeah.
When he has let Jesus down, when he denied Jesus 3 times,
Yeah.
and Jesus' response to him as he pulls Peter to the shore, and he looks around and goes, "Peter, do you love me more than these?" And I used to think like, okay, he's talking about like the fish, or he's talking about. I believe like he was talking about the people around him. I think he was talking about the boats. I think he was talking about the fish. I was like, "Do you love me more than these?"
Yeah.
Surface level things.
It's these surface level things.
Yeah,
Like, it
that's
goes
good.
further than like I'm talking
That's
about
really
surface
good.
level. Like,
Yeah.
man, how are you doing?
Right.
Like that's surface level.
That is.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, like how was your day today?
Yeah.
That's surface level.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
talking authentic and real. Going like, hey man, like, how's your mom doing? Like the thought that I remembered like a conversation about your mom.
How's that
Yeah.
thing you're struggling
How's that
with?
thing you're struggling with?
Yeah.
Like bro, I need help. Like I'm struggling. Like those types of conversations that we can have unapologetically with each other to keep each other accountable, to
Yeah,
lift
that's
each other's
good.
arms up.
Yeah.
Like understanding who Jesus was pushes us deeper.
Yeah.
Like that word deep.
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
can we start on that word again?
This man is preaching, y'all.
Going out into the deep water, because you know why? They were in the shallow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were
That's
scratching the
good.
surface with their relationships.
Yeah.
And Jesus said, no, I've got something more for you. And he's saying the same thing in the scripture in your relationships. I've got something more for you.
Yeah.
But it takes you being real and authentic with who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And understanding who I've created you to be.
Yeah.
Not the
Yeah.
person that you're trying to be.
Yeah, that's good.
Whew.
Yeah, I like that you brought up Peter, and how he was a fisherman, but he denied Christ, and what did he go back to? Fisher. He
Go
was a
back to his whole
fisherman,
life.
right? He went back to the comfortable,
Yeah.
what he was used to, and I love it. And Jesus went there and met him where he was,
Yeah.
and they ate a meal together. Like that's what they're used to.
Yeah.
And I just think that's incredible because he was restored. And I think one of the things, the question we asked earlier, how do you guard your heart and how do you know? One of the things also I just think about is people who have been restored.
Yeah.
Like people who have had life change, those are the people I want to be around. People that have been in the brokenness of brokenness but know the love of Christ,
Yeah.
because they're more likely to love me because they know where they came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I think Peter was chosen, because he understood.
Yeah.
Oh my, I rejected, of the Lord. Like I let him down, but he's going to raise me up now.
And Jesus was just getting
Yeah.
started with him.
Exactly. Come on. Yeah.
You know
Seriously.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we've talked about the how. We've talked about the what.
Yeah.
First of all, we talked about the what, like what we were talking about today, being real. We talked about, okay, necessarily how we be real. Now, the question is, why is being real important? Why do you think it's a challenge for us as believers, as men, as women? Why do you think it's such a challenge for us to be real?
I know why.
I mean, we were just talking about this
We
the
were,
other day.
we were,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
I think really like rejection and
yeah,
brokenness.
Come on.
Right.
But Christian, we
yeah.
had this conversation the other day of just when we were sitting on the couch in my office.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
You want to dive in a little bit more to
Yeah,
that?
man. Heck yeah, let's go, bro. Man, we church kids. Right. I'm a church kid.
I literally grew up running up and down the halls
Right,
barefoot of church.
right.
Yeah.
Jay's probably the only one that really, really found Jesus in a whole different setting, right? But for me, man, I think it's hard, and the challenge for us, just even let's be real as men,
Yeah.
to be authentic and real, it's because of fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like let's be like for me, like growing up in the church, it's not something that we're taught, right? Because no one on the pulpit is saying, "Hey, hide what you're going through."
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
I ain't never heard a pastor say that, but I was never really. For me, I grew up in a Hispanic Pentecostal, very legalistic though church, right? And it's like, hey, don't share that part because it's gonna make us look bad. right? You know, so
Yeah.
and me, I'm a people pleaser. You know that.
Come on, man.
I strive.
I think as pastors, as we're all at some point a people pleaser.
Yeah, dude, exactly.
I think it's at our core. That's one of our flaws.
What happens if we don't please the kids that we're ministering to?
Come on.
They ain't gonna come.
Yeah.
You know, but like for me, man, I lived my entire life, literally, maybe even up until a couple years ago. I lived my life based off of fear of what the person's gonna think of me, what disappointing my family, disappointing my leaders. You know, I had a friend of mine ask me when I went on that trip to Connecticut. He goes, "Christian, why do you question your leadership?" And I was like, "Cause I'm scared to fail my leaders." Because in my equipping season, I had a leader that I could never meet that standard.
Yeah.
And so I was scared every time to take a jump, take a leap, because I'm gonna fail him.
Yeah.
You know, and so for me, it's like I had that going back to that facade, going back to that wall or that image that I wanted people to see, because if I felt like if I wasn't sharing the real Christian, the raw, uncut, you know what I'm saying, man, going through this, that, and another, the good, the bad, and the ugly, then I wasn't gonna have people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then, you know, so I began to hide behind lies, dude. I began to hide behind lies because I was scared. The fear of letting somebody down was so much for me. It was too much for me to handle.
Well, I think part of it comes from our pride. Of not showing our brokenness.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there's fear in all of us at some point to show who we truly are.
Yeah.
And understanding that we're all broken.
Right.
Yeah.
But how many of us don't want to show that?
Right.
Yeah.
Because of the fear of being judged.
Yeah.
Because I think that's also a broken church culture. When I say church, I don't mean any specific church. I mean Big C church.
The
as a
church.
whole.
Yeah.
That there's a part of broken church culture of like, where we even and at times ourselves done it. Well, at least I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have done that many times.
At least we see somebody and we go, you know, God, at least I'm not that bad.
Right.
Yeah.
But ultimately, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regardless of what that person's sin is or our sin is, we're all broken.
Yeah.
Just the same. And I think there's a piece of it is our pride of going, you know what, and finally admitting, I'm broken.
Yeah.
You know, that's something I went through in counseling, of understanding of things that I have dealt with as a teenager, you know, as a young adult, of going, and my counselor going, no, you just have to understand it's already beat you.
Yeah.
I was like, do what?
That was hard to swallow.
Like it was hard to swallow, going like, no, you're in the game.
Yeah.
It's time for you to take a seat because it's already beaten you. There's no longer fighting it. There's no longer of like fighting against this bravado of like I've got it all together. Like no, you're already broken. So what are you trying to hide?
Right.
Yeah.
Which goes back to of the surface level. Like people can't get to know who you're portraying to be.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah. Like seriously, like if you're putting up a facade, if you're putting up a mask of who you think you are, it's all they'll ever know, and they will never know the true you.
Yeah.
And that relationship will never go past it.
Right.
Yeah.
And if we want to see authentic and truly deep rooted relationships and seeing healing and accountability and peace and joy in those relationships, we gotta stop playing around.
Right.
Yeah.
We gotta stop playing with each other's emotions, going, no, this is who I am.
Yeah.
Let me drop it again. Understanding who we're talking to.
Yeah.
And having that accountability. You know, just as Jesus did with his 12, and having that circle around of our life, going, I'm gonna drop the facade and go,
Yeah.
100%. This is what it looks like to be a Christ follower.
That's good.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like I want to hit on this real quick.
Yeah.
Really fast, because that's not who God is.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
He's not, hey, put this wall up, be this person.
Yeah.
You know, that's not who God is. And I even thought of the scripture because I think of that phrase, hey, God says, come as you are.
Yeah.
But we take that so lightly, dude. Right? We take that so lightly, bro, because even in Matthew 11:28, he says, come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest.
Yeah.
Right? And that's when I think of that phrase, hey, come as you are. That's what Jesus is saying. Hey, I don't care what burden or stress or identity crisis that you're dealing with. Like, come.
Yeah,
you know?
that's good.
And not only can that rest be found in an identity and relationship with Him, it can be the relationships that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That rest can be found in going like, hey man, I need to unburden myself with this.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, I need your
That's
help.
good. Yeah.
Like that is where rest can be found, not only in knowing who Jesus is and what he did on the cross for us, knowing that he's already done it. He's already put it to rest.
Yeah, bro.
But we can have accountability with each other.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, that's good. I just think about the time when I was actually in 8th grade going into 9th grade and having to sit, with all my teachers and my dad and, struggling with dyslexia. And so I'd have this meeting and the teacher, looking at me saying, you read on a 2nd grade reading level and you have a math, your math level is at a 4th grade.
Yeah.
And just the tears flowing because your dad's right across from you and you're like, whoa, like this is reality. And seeing his eyes and the disappointment and confusion and not really understanding what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
And I don't understand what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
And in that moment's like, I felt rejected. I felt terrible. I felt embarrassed. I felt like they just exposed me. And it was a growing part for me. And it was something, honestly, like to this day, like I have to be intentional with not letting that keep me in bondage.
Yeah.
And still be open and honest, and being able to advocate, for myself. But it took me a while to trust and to let people in, especially when I got to high school and knowing like, oh my goodness, I can't really read. And, because I got made fun of in middle school, the teacher would call you to read and you can't read, it's a real thing.
It's terrifying.
It is terrifying. But just like my dad. And then my dad obviously, finally embraced me, because I'm his son. But it was hard. It was really hard.
Amen. The biggest thing too, I think anyone who's listening or even us sitting on this table, we can remember those who loved us well and hurt us deeply.
Man.
Yeah.
Loved us well and hurt us deeply. And I think the biggest piece for me whenever I am navigating relationships and how I be authentic with people is I don't want someone to remember me for hurting them deeply.
Yeah, that's good.
There are going to be times where I do hurt somebody because I'm flawed.
Yeah.
I'm a big boy, loud, boisterous person, and all y'all know that.
Yeah.
And I
Really?
know I can be brash. I know I can be brash sometimes.
Never.
But it's a constant reminder of I want to be someone who points people to Jesus.
Yeah.
And loves deeply.
100%.
Yeah,
That's
good.
Like that's how I want to be remembered.
That's the goal.
That's the goal, right?
That is the goal, yeah.
To be authentic and real, and not just for people to like me. Okay, it's not about me being liked. It's I want people to be loved by Jesus.
Yeah, come on.
And I'm gonna try to be the hands and feet of that.
Yeah, that's
what it's
good.
about.
It'd be a plus though when they like you.
It is a plus. It is a plus.
It'd
when
be
they
a
like
plus
Yeah.
though. I ain't gonna lie. But no, 100%. Yeah, like if we can strive to do that, and let God do the rest, then I think we're on a good track.
you. Yeah. So the challenge, okay?
Yeah.
We're gonna bring it up. We talked about the what, the why, and the how. Now is the challenge. Now is where we challenge you to walk this out. So let me ask you this question: how do we be real?
Yeah.
It's basically almost a summary.
Right.
We gotta drop the facade,
Definitely.
Yeah.
drop the mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I think you have to take risk,
Yeah.
and open up,
Yeah.
and just lean on others.
Yeah.
Being authentic and real with people is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But Jesus doesn't call us into a life of comfort.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
You want to talk about stepping
Yeah.
out into the deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The deep is scary.
Yeah.
We ain't got no floaties on out here, boys.
Yeah.
Seriously, stepping out of the boat.
I can't even
Yeah.
swim that good, man.
I mean, doggy paddling.
Hard too. But also, like
love
I
it.
said earlier, time is gonna tell,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, all of that, drop the facade and all that, but it's like when we're actually open, remember relationships aren't gonna just happen, right? It really takes effort, to have those,
Yeah.
right? And so it's like, and I think we're all learning that,
Yeah.
and we were all thrown together, right? Some came with more baggage than others.
Yeah.
But the best thing that I can say about, and I want to just talk about these guys, like the best thing that I can say is like, y'all been patient with me, right?
Yeah.
You've been patient, you've listened, and you've let me talk. There's been times where me and Matt just be talking, and it's like, oh,
And we start boo-hooing in the car.
yeah. And it's like, but in those moments, it's like my favorite thing about both of y'all is like, it's never scripted.
No.
It's never like it's always like, hey man, I know I just got in town, but I gotta tell you this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, no,
Yeah.
I haven't seen you and I'm doing something, but like we start going and it's an hour and a half, you know, it's midnight. You know, for me,
It's not forced.
it's not.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's what I want y'all to understand is like good relationships, you know, good, real, authentic, uncut relationships aren't forced.
No.
It's
Yeah.
not. And it's so it's like when you get a new glove and you break it in, what happens after time? It starts forming to your hand.
Yeah,
you know what
man.
I'm saying? And so, man, I want to I want to end on that for
Yeah.
me. For me, I want to end on that. Like, hey, let the time tell, you know. And I spoke to this to another student, like, Christian, what do I do if this person doesn't want to, you know, if they don't want to put the same time in, then let it go.
Dust your sandals off. Move
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah.
For real,
Because
yeah.
only time is gonna tell
Yeah.
you, oh, this person is not what you need.
Yeah.
Right? And so, boom, that's for me, man, let that time tell you what like how this relationship is gonna be.
Yeah.
You know, it's not gonna happen. Like, you know, so that's
That's good. I just challenge you to be honest.
Honesty.
And
Absolutely.
honesty, and just again, like I said, take risk.
Yeah.
And it's okay to share the hard stuff, but we just share it with the right people. You know, and we talked about that earlier.
Yeah. Well, I've enjoyed this topic talking with y'all.
Man.
Yes.
This has been so good. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it, man, we may be almost over an hour with this podcast, but you know what? This is real.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys are able to share this, like this, comment down below. Maybe you can comment down in the comment section, maybe some things you want us to talk about, identity, purpose,
Please.
whatever it may be.
Yeah, please.
But this is fun for us. We're going to have some guests on here. We're going to have some guests, have some students, have some other adults, and it's going to be a fun time in here. We're going to have a great time. But
Yeah, man.
we thank you for joining us for our first episode of the Go Time podcast.
Yes, sir.
Now we talked about the what, we've talked about the how, we've talked about the why. Now it's ready.
Set.
Go.
See y'all later.
Love y'all.